It is set in Scotland. It's about that fear. I think we all have various things we're afraid of, but there's one fear I think we all share and we've also all experienced. And it's that moment when you're lying in bed at night, 2 a.m, and suddenly you wake up and you've heard a noise downstairs, and you think, was that something? Am I imagining it? Do I dare to get out of bed to investigate? And that's really what this book is about. So it's a family thriller. There's a dad, Tom, and his wife and teenage daughter, and they've suffered a family bereavement recently. They've just had quite a traumatic mugging experience in London, and they get offered the chance to go to a luxurious lodge in Scotland to kind of recuperate and heal as a family. And their first night there, 2 a.m, they hear a noise downstairs. There's armed men in the house, and the family have to use their wits to survive.
And so was that the starting point, this idea of that terror of lying in bed and thinking, what the hell was that downstairs?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's kind of one of my key fears, I think. And I've been burgled a couple of times over the years.
Have you?
Not while I've been lying in bed. I was burgled once when I was singing in the shower.
Oh my God. That's a worst nightmare right there, isn't
That was
it?
not
No one
good.
can hear me. This is delightful. Yes. Bless you.
Yeah, I heard a door bang, and when I came out of the shower, there was no one in the flat. And then I was sharing a flat with a lawyer in London at the time, because we were both working as lawyers in London. And she came home from work about midnight and said, by any chance, have you been in my bedroom and stolen all my jewellery? I said, no.
Nope.
But apparently somebody was in there while I was singing and made a sharp exit.
Can you remember what you were singing?
I was singing Justin Timberlake, Cry Me a River. Never to be repeated. It was good though.
Oh, bless you. Goodness me.
What first drew you into writing? Is it something you've always done long term since being a young boy? Is it something you came to a little later in life?
I always loved reading and writing stories as a kid, but I didn't know any writers. I didn't know how you became a writer. I didn't know it was really possible to make a living as a writer. But I think it really grew out of a love of reading, and especially crime fiction. So first time I ever read Raymond Chandler's The Long Goodbye, I just knew that's what I wanted to do. And it's a bit of a strange thing when you start trying to write books, because who knows if they're going to be any good, if you're ever going to get an opportunity to get them published. But it does become a kind of a pastime, a bit of an addiction. And it took me 10 years to finally get published, and I got published with my 4th novel. And this will be book number 10 when it comes out tomorrow.
Number 10.
Yes.
Is it difficult to keep up that flow of ideas, or have you always got sort of a scrapbook to one side thinking, that's going to be a good idea for a future one?
I generally have ideas of the kind of book I want to write, but not the specific hook that book's going to have. And I find until I finish one book, I can't really plug into what I should be doing with the next one. So I finish a book, which I'm trying to do at the moment, and then have a couple months where I sit around and really think about what would be an interesting thing to write about.
And why do you think we're so fascinated by this genre of writing? The thrillers, the mysteries, the gory bits sometimes. It seems a little sort of... it seems strange in a way, doesn't it?
Yeah, crime thriller fiction is the most popular genre in the UK. And within that, actually, the majority of readers are women readers. And I think it's a couple of things. I think, for one thing, stuff's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same as when we're binging these shows on Netflix, that stuff is happening all the time. And so it's keeping the story moving. Stuff has to happen in a crime and thriller. But I also think it's that, exploring this idea of strangers in your home, you can kind of explore that fear in safety, because it's not real. And you're kind of testing out what your reaction might be in different circumstances. Mm-hmm. But it's fiction at the end of the day, so it's a kind of safe way to experience these things. That's my theory anyway.
Yeah.